Hold please. Okay, there we go. All right, pushing the right buttons now. Pushing all the right buttons. Pushing all the right buttons. Okay, we're here. We are live. We are doing things in the world. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for taking time for yourself, for your singer self, for a musician self. I appreciate you. I am in awe of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway, tell me how you're doing. Let me know what you're working on singing-wise. I always want to know. I'm happy to help in any way I can. Also, I just want to know what you're doing and cheer you on. So that's exciting. Big news in my world, I'm releasing an EP this summer and in the fall. So the first single is coming out July 25th, and the next one is coming out August 22nd, and then another single, and then the final one, the final whole EP, 7 songs, will be coming out on October 21st or so. So that's really exciting. Thank all of you for supporting me in my own musical endeavors. It's really nice to say that I am walking the path along with you guys, right? If you're a recording artist, if you're a performer, I don't gig as much anymore, but I want to get back into it. But I've been on the recording artist track in my little vocal booth back there. I've been doing that for the last 4 or 5 years now. So that's exciting, and it feels really good to have new music coming out finally. These songs have been sitting around waiting for me to have time to get to them while I was building my vocal coaching business and catching up on all the past songs. I released an album in 2020, and that was catching up from the past like 10 years. So this is only catching up from the last 4 or 5, which feels nice. But I'm really excited. It's been a lot of work, a lot of a learning process. I have been producing my own songs. 3 of them on the album are fully self-produced, with little tweaks here and there by my mixing and mastering engineer. And then the other 4 are collaborations with different producers, which is a whole skill set to learn how to do. And I'm happy to talk about it more if you're interested. I've had a couple students recently, I need to post about them more, but I've had a couple students recently release songs of their own. Some of them I helped with, some of them I just helped them help connect them with producers. So if you look in my stories in the next couple days, you'll see Kitty Biscuit, which is one of my old students from Vocal Magic, and Tanya Gabriel, who is one of my really a long time ago Vocal Magic student. She was in like the second of her cohort, and she finally released her first single that she recorded all herself. I just helped her like mix and master it and finalize it. So it's really cool to see my students, you guys, doing the thing. Like, it's not just a talk anymore. You're walking the talk, and you're walking the walk, and you're doing all the hard things. It takes a long time sometimes. It takes commitment and recommitment over and over again to say, yes, this is what I want to do. Yes, singing my own songs is something I'm passionate about. I need the world to hear what I have to say. That is a very important goal, and I am so proud of you if you have taken any steps towards that, right? You don't have to be at the release stage yet like they are, but if you're taking a couple little steps to just record a little demo, you know, connecting with other people who are musicians who can help you record your stuff, that is a huge thing, right? Like buying yourself a microphone, spending time learning how to use that microphone. I have a couple students who are doing that right now. That's where they are with it right now, with the goal being eventually to record themselves. And you don't have to do all those things in order to be a recording artist. There are people out there who are willing to help you, right? That's also what I've been doing with another one of my students. And I'm sure you've seen me maybe post about Georgiana. She has released 2 songs. Yes, 2 songs that I helped her produce. And so she wrote the melodies, we tweaked a couple chords and things, and then I helped create the instrumental bed underneath it, and she recorded it right here. It took a couple sessions to get it right, and we tweaked and we edited and we came back, and that is a hard thing on itself, to come back and edit your own voice, to be like, no, I don't like it, and I know why, and I know what I need instead. That is a skill to build for sure. But these people, these courageous people, are doing it. And it comes from the first step of just recording yourself and saying, you know what, I know that I am lacking in this skill, and the only way to get to the goal of the 10 steps ahead of me goal is to take the one first step of just recording myself, just trying it, getting the nervous system more and more used to it. I have another student who right now is in that process. Like every time she records, she gets a little bit better and more comfortable with the mic, because it is a nervous system thing. It is very scary to be in front of a microphone and knowing there's a big red record button on your voice right now, and whatever you do will be captured, right? That is a very scary thing for your proprioception, your nervous system. It's going and looking out ahead of you and seeing, hey, there's danger here. Hey, there's danger here. So keep that in mind. There's no shame in getting started now, practicing in front of a microphone, practicing recording yourself, so that when you do record the final thing, it's not so terrifying to be in front of that microphone and have that big red record button on, you know? This is why, you know, for musical theater, you rehearse and rehearse and rehearse for months at a time before you go in front of an audience. And even then, your audience, your first audience is not your final audience, right? You have previews and, you know, producers coming in and being your audience. With recording, there's no way to, you know, have that practice other than to just turn that mic on from the very beginning and say, look, this is gonna be imperfect. My goal here is to be imperfect. My goal here is to just play around and see what happens, learn what my nervous system reactions are to this big scary red button. And my goal is not to get a perfect take, right? What a concept. Everybody that tries to record themselves, usually 95% of the time, their goal is to get a perfect take. And you know what happens? They freak out. Their nervous system goes on red alert and is like, I can't make this perfect. I don't know. I don't know what you were thinking. I suck. It's terrible, right? Understandably, if that's your first to fifth time in front of a microphone, of course you're going to freak out. Of course you're not going to be used to it. Of course you're not going to be good at it yet, right? You wouldn't expect a child to be able to get this right or anything right out of the gate, right? So why would you expect yourself to get a perfect take within 2 to 5 takes? It's so impossible. Number one, because you've never done it before and you're learning a thing, you're learning a skill, a technology. And number two, because your nervous system it's a new thing. It's learning that this thing is not a big scary monster, right? And that takes time, more time than our logical, intellectual mind wants it to be. Your intellectual mind wants it to be just like, oh yeah, you did it a couple of times, you should be able to nail it, right? And raise your hand if you've ever had that thought. Oh yeah, you're a singer, you can handle this. Yeah, if you can't nail it in 3, you might as well not try. Ridiculous, right? Would you tell a child that? Never. So give yourself so much more grace around this. This thing is a skill. It is absolutely a skill, and it takes time and practice. Just singing is a skill in itself, and then learning how to sing on a mic is a whole other skill. So take your time, and this is perfect for you too, Bree. Like exactly what I've had you do the last couple of weeks is like, just get on the mic. You're not going for good. You're not going for pretty. You're just going for getting used to and becoming best friends with that microphone. Learning what happens when I go closer and how that sounds, and learning what happens when I go far away and how that sounds, and learning what happens when I and in the mic, right? Like, you're gonna learn real quick. Sorry for that. If you're watching on through the mic feed, you're gonna learn real quick what you like and what you don't like, and what is helpful and what is not helpful. And you only can learn that by iteration. Sure, watch YouTube videos. That's helpful too. Go see what the professionals say. Get some tidbits before you do it. But then the only thing that's going to make your nervous system stand down from level 10 red alert on a microphone is to get it slowly down to 9 and then 8 and then 7 and then 6. And the only way to do that is to just iterate over and over and over and over and over again. Think about anything that has ever been new to you, right? Maybe the first time that you drove a car. Terrifying, right? Nervous system on red alert. That's why hopefully you have somebody, an adult in the seat next to you saying, you got this, it's okay. Here's the first step. You're going to turn on the car, right? And that's what I'm here for. That's what your other musician friends are here for, to co-regulate with you and tell you, you got this. But the first step, even though it's scary, is to do the thing. You can't learn how to drive outside of a car, right? So why would you tell yourself that you have to be perfect on a microphone without a microphone? It's a different thing, I promise. So as a recording artist, as somebody who is trying actively to do that in her life, I have to remind myself, like, the first take is always going to be a little weird. Even now, even though I've been recording in this thing for 3 or 4 years now, or more than that. And I recorded my first album at a whole studio. Like, that's a little more terrifying because there's a time limit and there's another person waiting on you, which is why I highly recommend that most singers learn how to record themselves. Like, even if it's like a crappy USB mic and you're using the free GarageBand or the BandLab on your computer, learn how to do it, because there is something to be said for not having the terrible extra pressure, right? Though just singing on a mic is enough pressure, and then the recording studio environment is even more pressure with this like producer you may not even know, like staring you down like, hey, we only got an hour left, right? So give yourself the grace of practicing this on your own so you can take your time, right? That's what one of my students did. She took her time. Like, she came here and did some takes in the studio, and she was like, you know what? I'm going to try recording on my own so I can really take my time. I can do as many takes as I want. There's less pressure. There's not somebody staring at me. It's just me and myself. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. Go for it, because of the nervous system perspective, it's so much easier on your nervous system. It's a smaller step forward, and your nervous system is like, oh, this is not so bad after 50 takes, right? It's like, oh, okay, I was terrified at the first take, and then by the 10th take, I was like, okay, I can keep doing this. It feels not like I'm gonna die anymore, right? And then by the 30th take, you're like, oh, okay, in the flow. It's a little terrifying to press that red button still, but I'm doing it. And then by the 50th take, you're like, oh, great, let's come back tomorrow and do the same thing, right? It's all about your nervous system. What sort of mic would you recommend for a laptop? It depends on what kind of budget you have, number one, and also if you want to get the whole rigmarole of like an interface and a mic stand and a mic cable and all of that. But if you want just a USB mic that just plugs into your USB port on your laptop, I like Blue brand. There's a Yeti one, I think, too. Blue and Yeti, and then I think there's an Audio Technica one that one of my students just got. Do some Google reviews, but most of the USB mics out there, like $50 to $100, are going to be pretty solid. And that's great for just getting started recording, getting used to the software that you're recording into, getting used to hearing yourself in headphones, with your voice going through the mic and straight into your headphones without hearing yourself in the room. That's a terrifying thing. I would start off, and maybe do this forever because I still do it, is take one ear of the headphones off. And I'm talking about like closed ear headphones, if that's the case, if that's what you're using. If you're just using the little AirPods, you should be able to hear yourself just fine, but you're still welcome to take one ear out. And give yourself that familiarity of how your voice sounds in the room, because that's probably what you're more used to than your voice through the monitor, you know? So all of these things, give yourself grace. You don't have to go full on into this world. Just take little baby steps. If you want to be a recording artist eventually, and that means not much to a lot of people, whatever that means to you. If you want to record your own songs, or if you want to record cover songs eventually, the best place to start is to just record something, right? Even if it's just through these guys. If you have these little guys, they have this little mic on there, that's a mic, that counts. And you don't have to buy anything if you already own them. Just practice recording. Press that big red button. I promise you it will get less scary after a while. Just like driving a car, right? Your first time driving a car might have been terrifying. And then after a while, you had to get 100 hours or whatever. I don't know what the number is now. You had to get a certain amount of hours. And then by the end, you were like, no, I do think I got this without this adult in the front seat. And then you go take a test to show that you do. And even if you failed it a couple times, you eventually got there. You didn't let your nervous system mess with you and totally derail you from doing all the things you need to do to drive a car safely, right? Same thing with the recording process. Your nervous system is going to be on edge at first, and that is okay. Again, not your fault. You're not a less person or a less of a singer if that happens. You are a human being. And we can say, look, I knew this was going to happen. Sarah told me. I knew I would be terrified the first time. I knew I was going to be a sweaty mess. I knew I was going to be shaking. I knew my voice was going to be weird. We expected this, right? Like she said, the goal is to just record and become friends with your mic, right? Kev, you know this. So if anybody out there has any extra tidbits for those who are wanting to become a recording artist or wanting to just practice recording or maybe being a performer, same idea. Still got to get used to being on a microphone. Please feel free to put them in the chat. But if you have never sung on a mic before, time to start, right? Go get a karaoke machine. Go to a karaoke bar. That's a great way to start if that feels not terrifying for you as well. Bring some friends over that you feel really comfortable with along with you, or bring them to your house and get a karaoke machine, or invite yourself over to somebody's house who has a karaoke machine, just so you can start to get used to that feeling, expecting that things are going to be weird and some wobbly ass sounds are going to come out of your mouth the first time, and probably the 5th time, probably the 10th time. It's going to happen, but that red alert feeling will start to subside the more times you do it within a certain period of time. So I always have to caveat this, like, don't practice on a mic once and then wait a month and then come back to it. Your nervous system's going to be like, wait a second, I thought we were done. I thought we were never doing that again. And then it'll feel the same. So make this a more often habit, and then it will feel easier. You will start to have less of that red alert feeling. Like I said, it will go from a red alert level 10 to maybe eventually a 5 to maybe a 2. I still am not at a 0, y'all. Like, just putting that out there. When I record, I am slightly nervous still, even though I've done it many, many, many times. The goal is not to be not feeling any nerves. You're gonna always feel a little bit of nerves if you care about what you're doing, right? That's the sign of that you care, if you have some nerves and that you are an alive human being, right? But it gets easier. It will get easier. I can almost guarantee it. Just don't expect yourself to be a superhuman, right? Don't expect yourself to not even have a reaction, right? Like I said, when I record, my first take is always a little weird. It's never quite what I want it to be. My voice is always a little wobbly. The first take is always just the first pancake, right? The first pancake is just strange. And we have to accept that and love that. And then we do 3 more takes. And then by that time, you've got something good, probably. Unless this is your first ever time recording. And then the goal is not to be good, right? Remember, the goal is not to be good. I know it's weird to say, but the goal is to get used to it. The goal is to become besties with your microphone and your recording software. And that is all you need for the next couple weeks, right? If you're starting from scratch, that's it. That's all I expect of you. Just become besties with that microphone. And then next month, we can try getting the take that you're looking for. But it's not going to come when you're still at level 10 red alert. Know what I mean? You can't expect that of yourself. It's just unfair. So, yeah, all that being said, it's hard. Being a recording artist is hard work. Recording your voice is hard at first, and then it gets easier, and then it becomes more fun if you're a dedicated crazy person like me. Like, you have to really love it. You know, there's a reason that most people just don't do this very often, right? There's a reason that most music artists record one song and they release one song and then they're like, that was so much work, I can't. Right? Look at all the artists on Spotify. Like, there's probably like stats on this. Like 95% of the artists on Spotify have never released more than one or two songs. And that's it. They just are like, nope, can't do it. So if you are one of the crazy ones like me who are dedicated and committed and want to keep going, you have to have a good knowledge of your nervous system and what it entails to treat it like a normal human, right? You're not going to treat it like a machine. You're not going to say, you have to get this right, otherwise you suck. You have to get this right, otherwise I'm giving up. That's not a fair parameter to give yourself as a human, as a learning, somebody who's still learning something new, which we all always are. I'm learning stuff all the time. So just because I recorded a couple of these songs totally on my own doesn't mean that they're going to be radio quality to some people, you know. I think they are because that's what I was going for, but it's the best I could do at this moment, right? I'm still going to, in 10 years, I'm going to know so much more, and I'm going to be recording myself faster and more efficiently than I am right now, and that I have to be okay with. I am where I am right now, and that's all I got. So we have to give ourselves lots of grace and time and space and a little bit of a unreasonable push sometimes. And I say unreasonable because our brain really likes to be reasonable about things, and usually reasonable means holding back and resisting to our beautiful little biological brains. So keep that in mind. I love you so much. Go record something, even if it's just with these little guys. This is a mic that counts. If you have the means and you've been holding out, go borrow a mic from somebody. Go buy a mic. They're on Facebook Marketplace for probably like $50. I guarantee that you can find something that works for you. And it's so much fun, you guys. If you've never spent 3 hours on GarageBand, you're missing out. It's like an adult playground, I tell you, for a musician. It's really fun, especially if your goal is not to get it right and pretty and perfect, right? If your goal is to just be like, wow, look at this amazing technology that exists with just my laptop or just my phone. All you have to have is a phone these days. And I can make something. I can loop my voice. I can layer harmonies. I can beatbox and create a whole thing. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. It's like not guilty, good time, fun for adult musicians. I promise you're going to love it. All right, I'm going to go. And I hope you have a lovely day. And thank you for hanging out with me. Keep an eye. I'm going to be posting probably about my EP a bunch more. So apologies in advance. And thank you for paying attention. July 25th is the first single. And I'm excited for you to hear it. And then as always, Vocal Magic is always open. You just have to be interested enough to DM me. So thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you very much. And I'll see you very soon. Boop, ba doop, boop. Boop, boop.